Howdy, Tinker Nerds! Welcome to the comment show. This is another live comment show because you guys getting the feedback seem to like it. So I'm going to go with it. And you know, that's cool. Let me scoot over just a tad. So this is the comment show for my Coke bottle spy cam video. That was my April Fool's Day project. So I released it early in March so that I could actually get it done. And so that if you guys wanted to replicate it, you could get it done too. All right, let's jump right on to the comments and see what you guys had to say.
It's a great idea until someone is thirsty.
That's a good point, but in my defense, the Coke was turned into jelly, and jelly is pretty delicious. So maybe if somebody drank it and thought they were getting a Coke and ended up getting jelly Coke instead, maybe they'd be like, oh, there's a spy cam, but oh, jelly's delicious.
Maybe you could have created a wireless charger somehow.
I had honestly thought about doing that. That was part of the original plan. But then I found out since the Raspberry Pi was in the middle of the Coke bottle, it was going to be kind of difficult to actually reach that with a wireless charger. One option would be to put it at the bottom, but as you can see, there's quite a distance from the bottom of the Coke bottle to the middle, so I don't think it would have been able to charge that way. Another option would be to stick the wireless charger behind it, but then you have to have some type of wall or have it next to a wall or something like that. And I just didn't think it was worth it. You know, if you're going to use it for 5 minutes, just recharge it and let it run, and I thought that was the easiest solution.
Why port 8000? Shouldn't it be port 8080 for HTML?
So if you're hosting this on your home server, there is no requirement as far as the port number. Sure, you can do port 8080 if you want, but you can change it to whatever port number you want inside the code. And to be completely honest, if you do want this locally and don't want anybody else to hack into it, then use a more obscure port, something other than 8080 or 8000 or common ports, something that only you know, and that will make it a lot less able to be hacked.
Would also be cool if the script did a time lapse and saved the photo/movie to the SD card in case power conks out.
So I know that was a long comment. I'm addressing the bottom of that comment if you guys were reading along. So as far as the script, that is a really good idea. And that is something that should be pretty easy to implement as well. Sorry, I just hit the table. There was not an earthquake. I know that's what it looked like. But if you are interested in doing some type of time lapse, you can take a look at a previous video that I did. This was my motion detecting security camera that whenever it detected motion would take a snapshot and actually email it to you. So time lapse is actually easier, but if you wanted to package that time lapse up and have it emailed, you can check out that video for inspiration.
Tinkercad lets you build 64-side circles. The default setting is 20. Check the object settings.
Okay, well that's a little bit embarrassing. Yes, you are correct. You can increase the sides on models in Tinkercad. But what I had done was I had stuffed a bunch of objects together and combined them together, and it won't let you change the sides after you combine objects. So what I ended up doing then was separating out all the different objects, and then it let me change the sides to 64. And as you can see in that image, it is much smoother. But Fusion 360 is a little bit better because you can do more stuff with it.
Wouldn't it be more convincing if you left the Coke in the top part still liquid?
Yes, it would, and that is again something that I had thought about doing, but the only problem that I was worried about was waterproofness, like sealant, making sure it didn't leak, because if it does leak, you have the Raspberry Pi and you have the battery right below it, and that could end up being a little bit disastrous. So I decided to just go with the jelly on the top and the bottom, just you know, to ensure that nothing leaked into the Raspberry Pi below.
Just the fact that you need to have a 3D printer makes the cost skyrocket.
Not exactly true. There are a lot of different ways to get an object 3D printed without having to purchase a 3D printer yourself. You could visit a makerspace if you have any makerspaces in your area, and they generally have 3D printers. Sometimes they'll let you use them for free. Sometimes you have to become a member and then they'll let you use them, so that's something to check out. Universities and college campuses, they generally have some type of maker lab or maker equipment, and they as well may let you use one of them, or you could pay for an object or something. And local libraries, surprisingly, some of them have 3D printers and entire maker labs. So you could also check out your local library just to see if they have 3D printing capabilities. And they generally charge per size or for however much filament you're using. So that's another option as well. And if you don't have any of those, then you can order 3D parts online. You just upload your file to a place like Shapeways, for instance, and then you can have them print it off and ship it to you. And that's a little bit more expensive, but that is a way to do it without having to buy a 3D printer. All right, guys, that is it for this comment show. There are actually 2 more comments that I'm going to address after the end of the official comment show because they require a little bit more in-depth conversation and explanation. So if you're watching live, stay tuned after the comment show for those 2 comments. Other than that, there is the Tinkernut automation contest going on right now over at the Hackster.io link that you see there. This is to celebrate reaching 500,000 subscribers. So if you have a good automation idea, feel free to submit it. You could win a 3D printer. That's another way to get a 3D printer if you really want one. And you could win Raspberry Pis or Roombas, a lot of different prizes. So if you have a good idea, feel free to submit it and you may be a winner. All right, guys. Thank you all for joining me on this fine Friday, depending on what neck of the world you're living in. I'm pretty sure, except for maybe China, it's still Friday everywhere else. Let's see. So I will address those 2 questions. They are actually pretty good discussion questions, and in the comments of the video, they actually had some pretty good discussions going on with that. So I just thought that instead of addressing those in the actual comment show, because it would take a while, I thought that I would address them here. But I'm just going to glance through the comments here. See if there's anything of interest. Your thoughts on artificial intelligence. I think that artificial intelligence is fine. I think that artificial intelligence taking over the world is a little bit overblown. But I think that exploration into artificial intelligence is really good for understanding computers and understanding what we can do as far as computers. And I think a lot of good things could come from it, depending on how it's used. Now, the only downside as far as artificial intelligence is I feel that it's going to go the way of every new technology. People always find a way to corrupt it. They always find a way to use it to harm other people, to use it to their advantage. You know, kind of like fireworks, for instance, how it was intended. Let me get my goggles straight. How it was intended to, you know, just be celebratory. Gunpowder was used for fireworks, and then it was found that it could fire guns, and of course, people decided to go that route with it. But it started off as something nice, and then people turned it evil. And I feel like that would probably be the same thing for artificial intelligence, because that's generally how it goes with every new invention. Where can you buy glasses like that? Just Google steampunk goggles. You could probably get them on Amazon. Let's see. The video description is wrong, by the way. Dang it! I forgot to update the video description. I wonder if I can do that live. Let me see. Let's see. Yes, that is totally wrong. I'm gonna update it and see if I can save it. Nope, doesn't look like I can once the stream has gone live. Oh well. I'll fix it later. Sorry guys, so many things to do, so many things on the checklist. All right. So the first comment that I wanted to address is...
Can I make a request? I'd like to get your thoughts on a civilian body camera and microphone.
So it's about the general public wearing cameras basically and microphones. The comment itself goes on in favor of having these because I guess they kind of see it almost like a dash cam where you can record everything, your general life, and catch perpetrators in the act or whatever. And I think that that is one good aspect of everybody wearing body cameras. But and we saw this with Google Glass. The big downside of wearing cameras attached to your face has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with the people around you and how they feel about it. And I think that that's what people that invent these things tend to forget. They tend to focus on, you know, the usability, how it will benefit the person wearing them, but they don't think how it will be accepted from the people that are being videotaped or the people that are being recorded. And that's always a huge issue, especially in America, is a privacy issue. I know in a lot of other countries, governments are already, you know, filming everything you do with CCTVs and things like that. And in America, you know, that happens too. I mean, the American government is not technically allowed to spy on the American people. But I'm pretty sure it does happen. I mean, they have the data, whether they actually use it or not. They have the data and can probably access the data. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think it's a good idea yet because just because not everybody wants to be recorded all the time. Like, I don't want to be walking down the street and know that somebody is recording all of my actions and could at any point use that against me, even if it's not something that I did wrong, but something they believe I did wrong. All right, let's go on to the next comment, which is a little bit more touchy, but I didn't take it as touchy. It's actually a very interesting discussion question.
Your channel has fallen so much.
That is something that I thought was an interesting comment, and I thought it would be something that would be good to address, just primarily for those of you that are YouTubers, just what it's like being a longtime YouTuber like myself and what to expect, what you can expect. So I know you see a lot of channels, and I see them all the time, that just shoot up through the ranks really quick. They make video after video after video that are getting thousands and thousands of views every time, and then they just continue to grow. Those are the ones that have figured out the perfect formula, have committed their entire life to their YouTube channel and put all their resources into that. That is something that early on, you know, I was okay with doing, just putting all my resources into my YouTube channel. But I've been doing this for 10 years, guys. And it's something that I like to do as a hobby. I didn't want it to be what officially supported me, because, you know, if I'm relying on it as an income, then the money is my incentive. And once the money becomes my incentive, then it stops becoming fun. Like, I want to do it because I enjoy doing it. So several years ago, I got a part-time job and continued to do the videos. and balancing the time between the videos and the part-time job, the views started to slip a little bit. Now, I did take a hiatus from the job and focus more on my YouTube channel again, and the views started to go up. And now I have a full-time job, and I do these videos. I can commit maybe 6 hours a week to the videos. That's why I'm only doing basically 2 a month. And and also on top of that, I now have a family that I have to spend time with, and I can't commit, all my time to this. I can only commit 6 hours a month, or 6 hours a week at most to this. And because of that, sometimes the videos are a little bit rough around the edges. Sometimes the ideas aren't fully thought through and they don't get as much views. And that's something, because I'm doing this as a hobby, I'm okay with. But to address the comment, my channel as a whole has always continued to increase over time. I found it interesting. A few months ago, somebody left a comment saying, wow, you have fallen so much from 500,000 subscribers. This is when I had like 400,000. They're like, didn't you used to have 500,000 subscribers? No, I never did, up just until recently. I have not fallen as far as the subscribers go. As far as the views go, the views are still pretty high. And I think even though some of my more recent videos aren't as popular, my older videos are still gaining a lot of views, so that drives up the view count. And as far as views per video, that really depends on the topic, that depends on the thumbnail, that depends on the content of the video. And sometimes I have ones that just stink. Like the view count for this last video is not as good as I would have liked it, but it is definitely not the video with the lowest amount of views that I've gotten. There are plenty of those, and some of those fell right in the middle of the time that I was having huge views for other videos. So it's really just about the topic, the idea, the time it's released, the thumbnail. There's a lot of different things, but when all those match, then the view counts start to go up. And that may happen again with some of my videos. I would like for it to happen again. I'm trying to constantly change my ideas to fit what I think might fit that mold. Sometimes it falls flat, like the last video did, and sometimes it doesn't. All right. Anyway, those are the comments that I wanted to address. I'm going to start looking at some of these comments now. I am not ignoring you guys. I just really wanted to get that out. Okay. So YouTube favors rapid uploads over quality content now. I think that is kind of true. Like if you release more videos, and it may actually be if you have a regular release schedule, then you are promoted better. I know that my promotion, as far as YouTube promoting my channel, has been a lot less than it has previously, and that could also account for the views. But yeah, it's hard for me with everything else I have going on to release a video every week, which is what I used to do. So we'll just have to see if I can get back to that. But it's all about finding a formula that works well with me where I can create good content without spending a lot of time on it, which is a tough thing for me to do because I'm a perfectionist. Okay. Tinkernut, do you know about Nikola Tesla? Well, I have done at least 2 videos about him, so yes, I do. He's a great character, very interesting character. The Q, yes, the Q channel. That is a good channel, guys. And that is something that he found a formula that really works, creating cardboard items, toys, mechanics. And he seems like a very smart guy, just the things that he creates. Some of the things he created had already existed on YouTube before, but he took the formula and he made his entire channel about that formula. And that's very that's what you should do. Like, you should find a formula. And that might be something that I'm missing. Like, I wanted my formula to be the design. So my topics have varied quite wildly over the years. And right now, I am starting to say that I'm settling in on Raspberry Pi being my topic that I want to kind of focus on. Let's see. Just checking out some of the comments. PoE tutorial for the Raspberry Pi 3 Model B. So yes, I am going to do that. I would like to combine it with making a wireless access point, because it'd be nice to have a wireless access point where the only wire going to it is Ethernet. If you mean the Raspberry Pi 3 Model B Plus, that actually is going to have its own supported extension that they have not released yet. From what I hear, it's going to be maybe in August that they release the official extension for the Model B Plus. But there are unofficial extensions, and I may just get one of those and try it because I'm really interested in it. PoE is power over Ethernet, and basically what that means is the Raspberry Pi can be powered through an Ethernet cable as opposed to running a power cord to it. So if you have everything else set up on there, then yeah, all you would need is the Ethernet cable. Plug that in, it powers it up, and it gives it Ethernet, and that's the only cable you need. It's pretty cool. Which YouTubers or which websites would you recommend for us as Tinkernut fans? I like to make stuff. That's a really good channel. He does really good woodworking and sometimes incorporates 3D printing and stuff like that. Definitely the Q is a good one. I really like his creativity. He's very artistic, and I love the combination of artistry and creativity. So let's see. I used to have some written down, like my favorite YouTubers. And these are generally kind of big ones, but I don't see them at the moment. So we'll just have to get back to that at some point. Oh yeah, there's another one. What's his name? William Osman. I don't know if you guys have seen him. It's Osman. He is a YouTuber from California. He does some. He's a great on-camera personality. He has a cameraman. That's what I feel like I need, is a cameraman, so I don't have to worry about these static shots. I would love to have a cameraman that just follows me around a workshop and I just do what I do. That still don't think that would make me as good as him. But check out his website, William Osman. He creates different stupid robots. They're crazy projects. He did a video where he turned a small car into a computer mouse so that whenever you drove the car, it moved the mouse around the screen of a computer. Very interesting stuff. Very creative too. Let's see. You like the Alexa printer project? Thank you very much. That is one of the projects that I made that I continue to use almost on a daily or weekly basis. A lot of the projects I make just kind of sit on a shelf, or they get torn apart and reused for different parts. Let's see. My channel is dead. Oh, interesting that you say that. What does that mean? Does that mean that it does not have any type of self-awareness, like it is not a consciousness? Because in that I would agree with you. It is, technology. It's not a living, breathing being. So yeah, I could agree with that. Otherwise, I don't know what you mean, and I don't know why you're repeating it. But if you'd like to explain yourself, I can address it better, because as far as I'm concerned, that comment is dead. Let's see. How many people are watching? 54 people watching. I appreciate that, guys. This is a random time. This is a terrible time for most people, I know. That's why I'm going to post a shortened version of it later. But as far as you guys that are watching live, I really appreciate it. I generally don't expect anybody to watch live, but I love talking to you guys. So I really appreciate it. I want to be seen on a popular YouTube channel. Well, see, networking is the thing that I find hardest as a YouTuber, just finding people to talk to. But let me give you guys some tips. So networking, as I mentioned earlier, at the moment I can only devote about 6 hours to the videos a week. So I really don't have much time to do any type of networking or reaching out or shouting out or anything like that. And I am very sorry for that. I hope that that changes pretty soon. But if you did want to get on another channel's YouTube, you want to collaborate. Collaborations are huge in the YouTube community. And you know, I wouldn't go for one of the top people first. I would go to somebody that does stuff that's similar to you, has a similar audience, and maybe has, you know, twice as many subscribers as you. And start there. Start with a collaboration there. Reach out to the person. Have a full-fledged idea. Don't just email them or contact them and say, "Hey, you want to collaborate? Hey, I want more views on my channel. Can you help me out?" Don't do that. That will be an immediate no. If you want to do a collaboration, have an idea ready. Have an idea for how you want them to help, and basically say, here's my channel. I think it would benefit my viewers to know about your channel, and I think it would benefit your viewers to know about mine. I had this collaboration idea where we create this. Your part involves doing this, and I'll take care of all the video editing. I'll take care of whatever you want me to take care of, and you just film yourself, because you don't want to put any extra work on them. So you basically want to have everything ready to go, and all you need from them is maybe the video footage of them doing whatever. But that is the best way to do some type of collaboration, is you do all the work. And if you don't have anything like that in mind, don't waste your time contacting anybody, because no YouTuber is going to respond to, hey, you wanna give me a shout out? It's not how it works. I do appreciate you guys. I do appreciate you guys wanting to promote your channel, because you got to start somewhere. But that is an idea that you guys can how to get started. All right. What's on your head? What's it look like? I would like your impression. I wish you were popular. I wish that too, but sometimes I don't wish that, because while I like doing what I'm doing, I don't really want this to be my entire life, if that makes sense. I really like my life right now. I like the balance of it. I would like to keep this as a balance, but I'm actually okay not being like a million subscriber YouTuber, because those people, they have to travel all the time. They're rarely at home. Like, their life is YouTube. And for some people, that's okay. That's not really my personality, though, so I don't know how well that would work for me. How much YouTube give for 500,000 subs? I don't know what that means. Are you talking about buying subscribers? Living auto mode, I appreciate that. I really like it when people tell me that something I did inspired them, because that's exactly why I do it. Like, I want to show people something to get them interested, and then they take it further. They take it to the next step. It looks like the Connor person in chat looks like he's really just wanting attention. You could say something kind of productive. Anybody that knows Connor or knows this Connor guy in chat, let's check out his channel. Let's see what his channel has on it, because anybody that likes to complain about what I have on my channel, I like to compare my channel to theirs and see what they're doing. And if they're not doing anything, then their critique really doesn't mean that much to me, if you know what I mean. Do the goggles protect your eyes? They can, yes. And they actually come with detachable frames as well. These are tinted. There's also these are red tinted. There's also a blue tint, and then there's also a clear tint. So can these protect your eyes? Yes. Are they safety rated to protect your eyes? No. So that means they may break, but you got to be okay with that. Good. I'm glad you got blocked. Heard of stars that have a big living on YouTube. So yeah, the thing about YouTube, and I'm glad you guys are interested in this, because there is a lot of like secrecy. I don't really know why. Oh, my goggles are messed up and it's killing me, man. Killing me. There's a lot of secrecy about what goes on in YouTube. Oh gosh, this is just getting worse. I'm leaving it. I'm gonna keep it like that. So, yeah, Arduino guy, I've seen your channel. You do some really good projects, and I do appreciate that. I love the Arduino stuff. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So YouTube takes a massive percentage of revenue from YouTubers, and I think the split, I think it's like 60-40. Like from all the revenue you get, they take 40%, which is massive. I mean, no other company really does that. So it's a really bad deal to begin with. So and what you earn is kind of based on how they like you. If they don't like you, or don't like the videos that you make, even though you may think they're the best in the world, they can, they can adjust their algorithm so that you get put to the bottom of the list, and makes it harder to find. And that's really disappointing too. What you earn fluctuates based on whenever they change their algorithm. So you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with earning a lot of money one month, and then they make a change, and then all of a sudden you're not earning as much. And that has gone on constantly since I've been a YouTuber. So that's something you have to be okay with, is just the constant fluctuation and dependency upon what YouTube decides to do from day to day. And so as far as like what you can earn, the people that earn the most, probably, I can almost guarantee you, aren't getting that money from YouTube. It's generally done through sponsorship deals from third-party investors, like people that are wanting them to promote a product, promote a game. That's most likely where the money is coming from. Or through speaking engagements, people paying you to speak somewhere. But YouTube is just it's kind of a platform to get noticed, and that's kind of how you have to see it. It's almost like most musicians. Like not all of them are going to make it, but if you have good ideas, if you're very committed to it, YouTube is a good place to get noticed, and that's how you have to see it. Is it's a place to get noticed. It's not really a place to pretend that you can make a living off of it, which you can. I can say it really depends on your country. It really depends on where you are. But whenever I had 100,000 subscribers, I could live off that, and it was a meager living, but I could live off that, and I was okay with that. And for some of you that may be fine. But if you wanted to grow beyond that, then you have to grow beyond YouTube. But use it as a platform to get noticed, as a platform to get started. Almost like a resume. Then you can show it to other people. This is the stuff I've done. You have to reach out to advertisers, to subscribers. Um, but yeah, that's kind of what you have to keep in mind, is that the people that are earning the most off of YouTube probably are not getting their money from YouTube. A portion of it, sure, but most of it probably comes from other advertisers, direct advertising. Okay, how do you make your stream so nice? Oh, bless you. Finally, somebody is complimenting on the quality of the stream. Oh, geez. Got some crazies in here. That's the only thing with live chats. I appreciate the moderators. That's what I'm going to say right now is thank you, moderators, for keeping the chat somewhat sensible. Let's see. Are you running for president in 2020? I hate politics. I'll tell you guys this. My dad was in politics when I was younger. It was miserable. It's a dirty business, and I hate it. Let's see. Cryptos are the future. I think that cryptocurrency probably could be. Bitcoin, probably not, but cryptocurrency in general, yeah, I could see that. I would like for that to happen. I think it's a very cool idea. I think the whole ideas of blockchains are very nice. Hi from Bosnia. I actually have a friend from Bosnia that I used to work with. So hello from North Carolina. Mullet versus man bun. Neither. You want to know why I'm not going to choose? Because I ain't got no hair. So if I can't do it, then I'm not going to vote. Do you recommend buying a 3D printer? So think about this. If you're interested in getting a 3D printer, just make a list of all the things that you need to print, that you would like to print. Because the thing is people get sold on the concept of a 3D printer because it is a cool piece of technology. But then when they get one, they're like, okay, now what do I do with this? What am I going to print? And they'll just print off random stuff that that isn't really useful. But if you're in a position where it would actually be worth the cost to get one, where you can foresee yourself printing a lot of stuff, and you can actually list that stuff out that you need to print, then I think it would be a good investment. 3D printers are getting pretty cheap. You can find some for $200-300. Um, but other than that, I mean, if you're just getting it because you think it's a cool technology, then it may not be worth it. Can't do anything wrong with a 3D printer. You can do lots of stuff wrong with a 3D printer. How do you get to be a mod? Well, my current mods are longtime fans that have stuck with me for a while, and I sent out a call for mods a while ago, before my baby was born, and um, and they filled out a form and submitted it, and I approved. So it's kind of past right now submitting to be a mod, but if I need more in the future, I'll do another shout out probably on a comment show like this. Can you fix an old printer? I hope so. Best friends on YouTube. Don't know what that means. Do you want me to be best friends with you on YouTube? Or who is my best friend on YouTube? I gotta tell you guys something. So whenever I started this will tell you how slow my channel has grown as opposed to other people. I don't know if anybody knows Marcus Brownlee, MKBHD on YouTube. Whenever I started out, he had like maybe a couple thousand subscribers, and I had like 10,000 subscribers. And we would actually talk to each other, and he actually did a couple of promotions for me on his old channel, because he really took inspiration from my channel to do what he's doing, and now he's got several million subscribers, and he just shot up through the ranks, and I'm really proud of him now. Those were the days. Silicon Valley is a good show. It's an HBO show for those of you guys that don't know. It's written by the same guy that wrote the Beavis and Butthead cartoon series and the movie Office Space, if you've seen that. So it's got a great sense of humor, and it addresses like all the Silicon Valley issues, but makes fun of them, and it's really funny. How do you make a touchscreen monitor? There's several different ways depending on how accurate you want. I actually saw an article for somebody that used a webcam and could detect how close your finger was to the screen by your finger's reflection on the screen, and then wrote a program to use that. Then you can do it using a Wii remote actually, and an infrared light. Um, can you give me access? Don't know what that means. Do you recommend using Linux? I love Linux. Again, it depends on what you're going to use it for. Because if you need to use like Microsoft Office, for instance, if you need to use Windows-based products, those are easier to do on Windows. You can do them on Linux, but it's kind of complicated sometimes. So being able to use Linux primarily, I found that I couldn't do it. I found that I had to have at least a Windows virtual machine so that I could switch back and forth for certain programs. Uh, but that, with stuff moving to the cloud, that's getting a little bit easier. You can use Google Docs online for office related stuff. But if you're working with a company that requires Microsoft Office, Microsoft Outlook, then you're going to find yourself switching. And so I haven't been able to say that I can use it as a primary computer yet. We'll say that. Real life problems in electronics. Suggestions for tackling real life problems in electronics. So how I got started, and I know I've mentioned this before. My mom was a teacher in the second grade, and they would upgrade computers once every few years, and their old computers would go to recycling. Well, we were friends with the principal, and he knew that I was really interested in computers, and he would let me go through the computers that were going to go to recycling or get thrown away, and let me take what I want. So I would come home with a car full of computers, and they would just sit in our basement, and I would tinker around with them. And just I didn't know anything about computers before that, but I had plenty of computers that nobody was using, that if I trashed them, they got trashed. So I got to understand how memory worked, how putting the wrong types of memory in can screw up a computer, and how processors worked, different things like that. So my best suggestion is to tinker. That's how I learned just about everything, is tinker. Can you speak German once, please? I want to see the accent. Oh, you're going to make fun of me, I know it. But this is for research purposes only. Wo wohnst du? Wie viel Geld brauchst du denn? Is that close enough? There you go. Do you read books? I have never been a huge book reader, and the reason why is because I'm a very slow reader. I like to overanalyze everything I read, so it takes me forever to get through something. But there are, if you're interested, so I'm more of a visual learner. I like watching videos to learn stuff. That's why I do what I do, to help people that are like me, that that are not big on reading books about electronics, but would rather see um, rather see how to do it than read how to do it. Can you maybe in the future make a video on how to make a proper crypto trading bot that trades according to indicate? Wow. I'm going to say no, because that would take a lot of time to make. But if anybody else would like to try a stab at that, be my guest. But as far as like programming things like that, those take lots of time to put together. So I'm going to go ahead and say no because I don't have that kind of time to commit. Do you have a cat? No. Do I have any pets? No. When's your birthday? I'm not going to share that. Sorry, a little bit too personal. And that's too personal too. You guys are asking very personal questions. Let's see. That's better. I'm glad that the pronunciation wasn't too bad. I took German in high school, so I don't remember much. I also took Latin. Those were the days. Oh, thank you, Ethan. I'm not going to pronounce your last name. Sorry. So I want to take a vote from you guys real quick. If I did a video that was if I started doing videos that were a little bit more basic, for instance, like how to make a media center out of your Raspberry Pi, how to begin programming with a Raspberry Pi, how to use your Raspberry Pi as a VPN, how to use your Raspberry Pi as a wireless access point, just doing basic videos like that. Would you guys, is that something that you all would like or be interested in, as opposed to these slightly more complicated projects? And I could sprinkle the complicated projects in, but I didn't know how you guys would feel, because the reason why is because I've been glossing over some of my older videos that have been doing very well, and some of them were kind of basic topics, general topics, like, let me see if I can pull them up. Give me 1 second. Yeah, like I did a series on how to make a website, for instance, which was very basic, but it worked out pretty well as far as people being interested in it. And it got lots of views. And I found that some of my slightly more complicated projects and builds haven't been getting as many views as the more basic ones. So I was just wondering, just wanting to get your feedback on what you guys would like. So let me see some of my other ones. I will say that my Raspberry Pi 360 camera did pretty well. That was somewhat complicated. And how to make your own smartwatch from an old cell phone. So, for instance, how to make an Android app in 7 minutes. That video did pretty well, and that was a very basic video. How to make a basic email server. That one did okay. So yeah, just stuff like that. Just interested in what you guys think. Yes, and shout out my name. I am not your puppet. Can you just show your goggles to us? Why is everybody so obsessed about these goggles? Just look up online steampunk goggles. You can find some. You would love a DIY router. Yeah, you can make that with a Raspberry Pi too. Do basic videos. That was a few months ago though. Oh wait, I think that's a different topic. Transferring a PC system Linux to a Raspberry Pi. Don't think that would work. Depending on what you mean by transfer, just because of the different types of processors, ARM versus x86. Basic would be awesome for those of us getting started. That's kind of what I was thinking too. DIY router. Wow, a lot of people like that. I can do that. Merch, please. Yes, I need to do more merchandise. What would you guys think about Tinkernut t-shirts or Tinkernut stickers, being able to purchase those? Comcast is screwing you. Any internet company is going to do that. So creating your own router does not bypass the internet company. There's really not ship to Nepal. Ah, man, that's the only problem with selling merchandise is shipping. Like, for instance, sending a sticker to Nepal sometimes costs 10 times more than the sticker itself. It's so difficult. What is your job? I actually get to work at a makerspace at my local library. I work on the 3D printers, get to work with Raspberry Pis, Arduinos, and I love it. It is exactly what I do on the videos, except I get paid for it. So for those of you that don't have a makerspace in your area, visit your local library and see what they have, because I know for a fact that a lot of them are starting to incorporate makerspaces. Internet should be free. Internet is free. Access to the internet is not free. But what you can do is create your own like local internet, and that is something that some people are doing. It's called a mesh net, where it's just basically people's devices connected to each other, and it makes almost like a local network outside of the internet. So just imagine if everybody just shared all their own stuff on this separate mesh network other than the internet. Then you could, recreate the internet, as it were, without having to go through bigger companies. Some people are starting on that, on making stuff like that, mesh nets. Let's see, Silicon Valley, new internet, any insights? Oh, so you're not talking about Silicon Valley, the TV show. MeshNet tutorial. I actually already did a MeshNet tutorial. Search my channel for MeshNet and see what comes up. I'm gonna have to stop the stream in a few minutes. Just got a couple more minutes though. Doing things fast so I can watch this. I appreciate that. Do a drone with Arduino. I may do a drone video. I've been wanting to for a while. It's just even making your own small drone is still ridiculously more than I would want to pay for it. I want to be able to make a really cheap drone that actually does pretty well. Mimo 180, you kind of need to be blocked because you have a little bit of anger issues, good sir. You studied, I studied databases in college. I started out in engineering and switched to databases. How swag can you be? Shiggity swag. All right, you guys are getting very inappropriate on chat. I don't know if these are bots or regular, but thank you mods for blocking these guys. And for the rest of you guys, it has been awesome. Some of you guys are pretty awesome. So I will have to sign off, but thank you guys for joining me. And I will see you all in a couple weeks. My next video is going to be in 2 weeks. And I'll give you a hint of what it's going to be about. Twitch and Raspberry Pis. So that is your hint, and I will see you guys next time. Doo-doo.